Good morning and welcome everybody. I'm Jessa Zinn. I am the founder of the Zinn method and I'm so glad you're joining me this morning. I'm live to you from Brooklyn where it's very cold still and there's tons of snow on the ground. And it's a really hard time to be motivated for movement. I tend to lead a very active life. It's part of my work. It's part of what brings me joy and play in my life, which are two things that I highly value. And in the cold winter months, it's more challenging. And I don't know about you, but I tend to think when I come up against a wall within myself, resistance within myself, I tend to think it's a me problem. And the reality is that it's often us just being human. And part of being human, part of my humanness is that I need external motivation at times. I need accountability. I need accountability buddies and people who help me to show up when I just don't have the energy, the inclination, the motivation. And I can so easily turn that into this conversation that I lack discipline. And my challenge is that we don't lack discipline, we just function better in community. And part of why I started the Zinn method and what distinguishes it from a lot of movement platforms is that we meet weekly. We meet weekly. I meet you live so that I can look at your body and assess what's happening. Because it's one thing to go through the self-assessments that I teach you within the program, but it's a whole nother thing when you have somebody else's eyes watching you and ears to ask questions too. But in addition, it's just nice to meet in community. It helps us show up, and as we show up for each other, we show up for ourselves. So this morning, I want to just give you a very quick, we're going to do one segment of the body. We're going to open up the inner, front, and back aspects of our upper leg, our thighs. And you'll see just in a few movements and not many minutes, what a difference it makes in your structure, but also for the rest of your day. So with no further ado, grab your foam roller, come lie on the mat or the floor. Let me position myself so that I'm actually in the camera. There we go. And just take a moment to arrive. Lying on your back, you can just windshield wiper your legs, allowing the low back to release. Good. And then as a point of assessment, I want you to rock through the pelvis. So come into an arch of the low back, come into a flat back, and just go back and forth. And I want you to just feel the ease or difficulty with which you experience that movement. How easy is it to make? Does it feel harder today? Just note, finding your breath. Good. And now come to a neutral pelvis and extend your right leg. And just take note, how far is your right thigh from the floor? And bring your right leg back in. And now extend through your left leg. And how far is the left thigh from the floor? And now both together. And just feel the pull that happens up the low back. And we'll reassess this in just a couple of minutes to see what we've created, what change we've created. So, grab the foam roller. Bring it underneath, right up to your butt, but underneath your thighs. Extend your right leg. Allow the left leg to fall open and just windshield wiper this leg back and forth over the hamstrings. We have 3 hamstrings. They run from the sit bone to the knee or below the knee into the calf. And you want to sense into the topography here. And sense into the quality of the tissues. Are they tight? Are they tender? The quality of the movement. Does it happen easily with ease? Or does it feel restrictive? And then pause, bend, and straighten. Compressing the tissues into the foam roller. Good. One more. Roll down to the center of the thigh. And again, windshield wiper. Back and forth. So if you are seeing this and you don't have a foam roller with you today, this will be in the grid. This will be on YouTube. You will have other opportunities to do this with me. Back and forth. Good. And then pause, bend, and straighten the leg. Welcome. I see all the waves. Thank you. Thanks for the kisses. I see those too. I'll take them. Good. And now move down. One last roll. It's harder to do this movement, this windshield wiper movement, as we get closer to the knee. So you can just rotate in and out here. We're looking to cross-fiber these tissues, to go in the opposite directions of the natural striations of the tissues, back and forth. And boy, do I feel this today. Back and forth. Good. And release, change sides. Bring it all the way up to butt. Allow the right leg to fall out, and windshield wiper the left. Back and forth. Breathing. It is easy for the mind to want to jump into the to-do list of the day. Try to stay with the movement. Try to stay with the sensations of the body. Come back center, bend and straighten the leg. Bend and straighten. And bend and straighten. 2 more. Excellent. Roll down, center of the thigh. Same deal, back and forth. Which leg feels more tender? Today, it's going to change. So we are careful not to write a story, right? It's easy to say, oh my goodness, my right leg has more issues, is more tender than my left. Maybe, but maybe not. And straighten and bend. Bend and straighten. So we just take the sensations as information as to what's happening right now. Good. And then roll down to the very end, right above the knee, and just rotate in and out. Imagine you have a steering wheel on that foot, and you're just rotating in and rotating out, and rotating in and rotating out. Good. And now we're going to flip over, and we're going to release our inner thighs. So come on over. Move the foam roller next to you and bring it all the way up to the groin. And then extend that leg and bend. And extend. I'm just going to move up a little bit for the camera. Extend and bend. 2 more. Good. Last one. Excellent. Now drop the foot and lift the foot. Drop the foot and lift the foot. 2 more. Good. Now roll to the center of the inner thigh. Very tender for me. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. 2 more. And then same deal, lower the foot, lift the heel. Lower the foot, lift the heel. So we're getting internal and external rotation at the hip joint. And then last turn, extend and bend. Extend and bend. Last one. And lower and lift. Good. And we're going to stay on the side, but we'll move the foam roller before doing the next. And we'll bring it right across the pelvis. And then right under the hip points. And we'll bend and straighten. So we're working on the front of the leg, the quadricep muscle. Now for the sake of the camera, I'm going to move the foam roller and keep my body where it is. But you're welcome to move your body on the foam roller instead. Welcome everybody. I see there's people still arriving. So glad you're here. I mentioned this earlier, but if you don't have a foam roller or you're just arriving, this will be in Instagram and on YouTube. So you will not miss the opportunity to do this together. And just rotate in and out. Rotate in and out. Good. And here's the deal. This is the kind of thing we do inside the Zinn method. Although in the Zinn method, we're doing it on Zoom, so I can see you and I can assess what's happening. You can ask questions. You can get those, nagging thoughts that you haven't been able to resolve for yourself out, and we get to talk them through. And we learn, bend and straighten the leg, we learn by seeing each other too. Good. And then one last turn of the foam roller towards the knee. This is on my structure, on my body the hardest. Bend and straighten the leg. Now, as we're here, I want you to be careful not to sag. Really engage core. Press into the arms. Beautiful. And then in and out. Good. And we'll do the other side, the left side, in reverse. We'll release here and roll the foam roller up to the hip points again. But now we'll do the front part and then the adductor compartment on the left. So bend and straighten that left leg. Bend and straighten. And then in and out. Internal and external rotation of the thigh bone. And then roll the foam roller to the center of the quads. Bend and straighten. Note to self, do not do heavy squat lifting before doing this. I had a leg day yesterday. And I'm feeling it today, all that lactic acid. And now rotate in and out. Engaging core. Not allowing the body to sag. Good. Roll down one last turn. Bend and straighten. Welcome, welcome. I see people are still coming. And then again, the movement in and out. Great. And now for the sake of the camera, I will flip around to finish with adductors. So we come onto the floor, we bring the foam roller all the way up, straighten and bend that left leg, straighten and bend, straighten and bend, and then drop the foot, and lift, and drop the foot, and lift, and drop, and lift, and roll down to the center of the thigh, extend and bend. Breathing. It's so interesting to note when in movement we hold our breath. Drop the foot and lift, and drop, and lift. One more. And last turn. And then drop and lift. Woo. and feeling this pull through those fascial planes all the way up to across my body into my right thoracic region, my rib cage. And release. And now we reassess. So move the foam roller out of the way, please. And lie on the back. And I start by rocking through my pelvis. And immediately I can feel that, wow, my pelvis has less, more range of motion, but just as importantly, it's not as tender in the movement. I've been moving furniture this week, and my low back has been a little tight as a result. And that has resolved. And now extend the right leg. And I can feel how much flatter that right leg is. Perhaps you can see it in the camera as well. And release. And extend the left leg. That one's still a little bit higher than the right. So I compare the two, and I can feel my right leg is a little bit more released than my left. And there you go. But both are more released to the floor. So bend both legs, lift up, we activate to stabilize. So I lift up, and now I'm going to lift my toes and pull my heels towards my butt, activating that posterior chain, engaging my core, stabilizing, and release. Amazing. And that's it. That's what we got today. I'd love to hear your questions about the program, about fascia, about showing up together in community, how I can support you. But what I can tell you about the program is that we meet once a week live for real-time assessment, for real-time community, for real-time movement. And I love those moments because I get to see, answer your questions and clarify different teaching techniques so that you can get the most out of not just the platform, but out of movement in general. So often we're just confused by why we're stuck. And it often isn't because we're not doing the right things. It's just that we need a little clarification about what we could be doing slightly differently to make the difference. We tend not to be feet off. We tend to be inches off. And that's why we can't figure it out for ourselves, because it's too small of an adjustment that we need. So I hope to see you in the Zinn method. I also offer 21-day courses so that you can do deep dives on your own. That's in the program. There's therapy plans. So if you have like a chronic neck, shoulder issue, there's a neck and shoulder therapy plan. It's 10 days of videos to take you through in progression how to assess and release that area. There's also mobility flows. So those are similar to what we just did. I wake up and I want just 10 minutes of movement. Get me moving. I don't want to think. We do a mobility flow. So we have the deep dives, we have the therapy plans, and we have the quick on the go flows. But again, my favorite part is the live. Because in my heart of hearts, I'm an educator, and it's much more fun educating when I have the audience and the participation of you to answer questions and clarify what's going on in your body, clarify perhaps my instructions, so all of it. So I look forward to seeing you inside the program. Please, please, please DM me with questions, and have a great day. Stay warm and stay kind. Yeah. Have a good one.